Naomi fessed up to attacking Jade, but will she be feeling the glow or feeling the groan? We answer that next, so just keep watching. Welcome to the OK Not OK podcast. I am Dr. O'Kay, where we're always just keeping it real. And today is our occasionally occurring attitude adjustment. And today it is for Naomi, where we will answer whether her attack on Jade was okay or not okay. We'll start it off with Naomi and Jade's history together in the WWE, and both of them appeared together for the first time inside a WWE ring at the 2024 Royal Rumble, and this was Naomi's return after walking out of the company with Sasha Banks during Raw on May 16, 2022, while she was a women's tag team champion. And sadly for all of us, Sasha Banks has never returned, but today's video is unfortunately not about her. So Naomi started the Royal Rumble at number 2 and lasted for over an hour, while Jade debuted at number 28, and in fact, she was the one who eliminated Naomi after more than an hour in the ring. And then after 2 more months of Jade very slowly deciding which brand that she would appear on, she finally chose SmackDown on March 29th, just 8 days before WrestleMania. And on that same show, she immediately helped both Bianca Belair and Naomi during a 3-on-2 damage control assault. And sure enough, a 6-woman tag match became official for WrestleMania, and those 3 styled themselves as the Big 3. And they did indeed easily defeat Damage Control at WrestleMania. Then on the first SmackDown after WrestleMania, Bayley wanted to name her first opponent after she had won the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And Tiffany Stratton interrupted Bayley, but that didn't work out so well for Tiffy at the time because Naomi was the person that Bayley wanted to nominate. However, Naomi wouldn't accept this match unless she beat Tiffy, which she did, and she became the #1 contender. But in their title match the next week, Tiffy attacked both Bayley and Naomi to force a no contest. And then Nick Aldis inexplicably added Tiffy to the rematch at Backlash, making it a triple threat match. So based on her actions right after WrestleMania, it appears that Naomi was the one who decided to go her own way from the Big 3, because on that first SmackDown, Bianca and Jade won their first tag match against Chelsea and Piper. And that would indeed earn them a title shot against the Kabuki Warriors at Backlash, which of course they would win. But the night before Backlash, the Big 3 reunited with Bayley to face Tiffy and all 3 members of Damage Control. And of course, those 3 were still very happy to work together. And the Big 3 rejoined together for one more night in August, while that brief moment of the unholy union was the tag team champions, when those 2 joined up with Blair Davenport, and of course the Big 3 beat them. And that was the last time that Naomi and Jade shared the ring together, but Bianca and Jade of course went on to recapture the tag gold just 2 weeks later. And in fact, Naomi seemed to have Bayley as her #1 ally instead of either Jade or Bianca, tagging with Bayley 4 more times from September through November 22nd, which was indeed that night where Jade got attacked. And that last tag match took place just a little bit after Jade was attacked. But Naomi still seemed to be focusing on the WWE Women's Championship instead of the tag titles. She fought and lost to Bayley for the #1 contender spot on the September 23rd SmackDown, but she then went on to win 3 straight one-on-one matches in October to become the #1 contender, where she eventually lost to Nia Jax on November 15th. So that just seems to be it right there. That has to be the moment where things flipped for Naomi, where she lost it after the match And so she had to ruminate on that loss for an entire week. And so at that point, she just had to do something, and indeed, she threw Jade into that car. But is Naomi capable of being bad? Well, Naomi has been one of the most positive members of the WWE roster for most of her time, but this was not the first time she lost her cool, because after losing to Paige at the end of a battle royal on the April 13th, 2015 Monday Night Raw, way back in the day when women did not have to go over the top rope to be eliminated in a battle royal, well, she brutally attacked Paige during her in-ring interview, and then Naomi later told Byron Saxton that people have taken her kindness for weakness for way too long. So this worked initially, as she quickly won 2 matches in 2 weeks against Brie Bella and Natalya, which set Naomi up for a Divas title match versus Nikki Bella at Extreme Rules, which she would go on to lose. But she got one more chance a couple weeks later at the Elimination Chamber when she lost in a triple threat versus both Nikki and Paige. But just a month and a half after that last championship loss, Stephanie McMahon announced the Divas Revolution, with Naomi being a part of Team B.A.D with Tamina and Sasha Banks. And although Naomi had some successes, she never got another title shot during this era, and since there were no tag titles at this time, the best you could do was appear on a pay-per-view or now a PLE, but any version of Team B.A.D would lose 3 of 4 tag matches, including on the WrestleMania 32 pre-show, where Team B.A.D and Blonde lost to Team Total Divas. So from April 2015 through May 2016, when Naomi got injured and had to take 3 months off, she went a mere 5-15 in singles matches, including those 3 title losses, and just 9-12 in tag matches, and only went 1-5 in pay-per-view matches. So it was not until she returned and felt the glow that she would go on to become a 2-time women's champion and a 2-time tag team champion. But speaking of that women's tag team championship, why was Naomi just so bent out of shape over Bianca and Jade being a tag team, as it was Naomi and Sasha who walked out of the WWE and vacated the women's tag team titles on May 16th, 2022. And if Naomi was so upset about how they were treated as tag champions, why would she even want to look at those titles ever again? But there she was, pleading with Bianca to Nick Aldis to let her take Jade's place instead of those titles being vacated yet again. And yes, she won the title the following week, but 2 things here. 1, they did not defend those titles for 2 months until they lost to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez on the February 24th Raw. And 2, she was still aiming for one of the WWE Women's Championships, because 2 weeks later she took Nia to her limit before Tiffy whacked her in the head with the briefcase that allowed Nia to retain, ever so momentarily, because Tiffy then cashed in on Nia. And even after that, that was not all, because she still participated in a fatal 4-way for the #1 contender spot a week later. And 3 weeks after that, she qualified for and participated in the Elimination Chamber to try to win the Women's World Championship. So was this ever really even about the tag team titles? So when she admitted to Bianca that she attacked Jade, she said that Jade was piggybacking off of Bianca's excellence and hard work, and that she was pushed to the side to fight for herself every single match. And when she admitted that she did it, she said she did it for Bianca and did it for us, because she should have pushed her harder and sooner. And then she called Bianca an ungrateful, TVPG here, folks. So did she just do it because she wanted to hang out with Bianca? I mean, all of us want to hang out with Bianca, but I think maybe she also did it because she wanted the easy path to a championship, and indeed, she did get that title. However, she was only 4-3 in all tags starting with their tag title match and had no successful title defenses, so I guess for Naomi it wasn't that easy at all. And of course, that's after Jade went 17-1 in all tags on the main roster with Bianca and an incredible 13-0 in traditional tags. So it sure looks like Naomi couldn't even piggyback as well as Jade could, because at least Jade basically won every single time. So as always, we need to give a final judgment whether this attitude adjustment was a good idea or a bad idea. So here's what I think we learned from this video. Number one, she loves Bianca. And yes, we all love Bianca, but whoa, she was right there by her side every single week. So couldn't she just be happy enough with their friendship as it was if they weren't sharing the ring together every single week? Number two, Bayley was apparently not good enough for Naomi. And I told you idiots a couple of times in my Who's Next videos that Naomi and Bayley should have been a top contender for the tag titles, but they just didn't realize they were an actual tag team. And even with Bayley as her top partner and Bianca still there every single week, I guess it wasn't good enough, and Bayley could not be her number one. Number three, it appears that Naomi was desperate for any title at all because she could not succeed after 3 shots at the WWE Women's title. And at the moment when she attacked Jade, she was entered into the Women's US title tournament, and she was willing to take someone out who had her back since before WrestleMania and tried to end her career just to get that tag title, which so happened to be the same title that she dropped on a table and walked out the door over. But here are the facts. Naomi went 14-27 and 0-3 in title matches the last time she went wildin' out, and her prior 3 titles she got while she was feeling the glow, not feeling the hate. So this doesn't seem to be very smart. But since she attacked Jade, she did already get those tag titles, so perhaps we can say it was a success already. And let's face it, she did not win the title in any of her 4 WWE Women's title shots, and she lost in the Women's US title tourney, she lost at the 2025 Royal Rumble, and she lost at the Elimination Chamber, so perhaps she desperately needed a change to win. But come on, if she needed gold that badly, she certainly could have earned a shot at the Women's US title, as she was entered into the tourney when she did this attack. And of course, that new title isn't going away, so she could have just stayed true to herself and stayed with her friends and won that title on her own. But apparently she just wanted to be able to piggyback off of Bianca in the same way that Jade did. Now finally, do you think that she can get through Jade unscathed? And if she does, do you think that she can get through Bianca once Bianca's sadness and disappointment from the attack turns to anger? And I bet you don't think that she can, and you know what? Neither do I. So, our final grade, I think we have to say, Naomi, we are feeling the groan, and this is not okay. And just like Naomi, we did a recent attitude adjustment for John Cena. And speaking of him, if you missed my grades for his first time back on Raw since the Elimination Chamber, be sure to go right on over here, because if you don't, just like how Naomi felt after being jaded, that would be not okay.